Hello students, welcome to Easy Elimu Learning Simplified. I am your teacher, Mr. Stanley Umbogo. So dear students, we are about to have a very interesting lesson, and today I want to show you some steps to writing a good speech. So prepare yourself as we look at speech writing, something about today. So first of all, let us begin by defining the term speech. So, a speech is an oral presentation where a presenter gives a formal message to an audience. So, it is a presentation. So, when we talk about an oral presentation, then it means that it is a presentation that is delivered by word of mouth. So, the presenter or the speaker gives a formal message to members of an audience or the listeners. So there are some of the things that we must include for a speech to be, effective. So it must be well written, and apart from being well written, we also have got, some elements or some things that we are supposed to consider when writing an effective speech. So when you are writing a speech, dear students, consider the following. So before looking at the element or what we have under the format, consider being clear about the topic that you'd like to address. That is, what is your topic all about, and do you have got some facts, reasons, or examples that you can use to or that you can give to members of the audience to make yourself clear to them. So also consider the audience you are dealing with. So this will determine your language use. If your audience, is having children, adults, and the older people, it means that you'll have to go for a general type of language, that is understood by all without discriminating a given group. If you are addressing children alone, know the right language use. If you are addressing the old people alone, you'll know the kind of language to use, and so on. So another thing, also acknowledge all those present in order of seniority, that is starting from the highest to the least in rank. And again, write your speech in a logical sequence, that is starting either with the most prominent to the least prominent, and so on. So a speech, like any other composition, dear students, must be written in three parts. That is the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. So what are some of the elements? What are some of the elements that we are supposed to include? So beginning with the first, we have got the title. We have the title. So what are we supposed to include under the title? Under the title, sorry, you are supposed to cite the speaker. That is the speaker's name. You are also supposed to mention or cite the occasion, again, the venue, and the date. Then after that, we have now the introduction. So remember, in my previous statement, I mentioned, or I said that a speech also has got three parts, just like any other composition. So the first part is the introduction. So under introduction, dear students, this is where you thank the audience, number one, for the opportunity that you're given to address them. So this is something that you must do as you begin a speech. And you must ensure that the introduction captures the attention of the audience. So thank the audience for the opportunity you were given. Then after thanking them, once again, remember to acknowledge important guests, that is in the descending order of seniority, and greet them. So After greeting them, you can introduce yourself. That is, if you have not been introduced before by anyone else. That is introducing yourself by giving your name. So as you introduce yourself, ensure, dear students, to create a good rapport. Establish a rapport with the audience by uh, mentioning your name and also your topic, or making a light-hearted remark, just to capture their attention and keep them ready for the message that you want to put across. Again, you can introduce your speech in very many ways. For instance, you can start by giving statistics. For example, if your topic or your speech is about HIV and AIDS, you can start by giving statistics about HIV and AIDS. For example, asking members of the audience that, are you aware that HIV and AIDS kill about 700 people daily in this country? Another way is starting or beginning your speech with a quotation. In most cases, a quotation or quotes of prominent people. Apart from prominent people, we can also talk about maybe famous artists, great writers, and so on. So an example, a famous American president once said, ask what you can do for your country and not what your country can do for you. Another way or another technique you can use to introduce your speech is using a short anecdote or any other light-hearted remarks. You can also start with proverbs and so on, and they must be relevant to your topic. So as you choose some of the remarks to use or to introduce your speech with, ensure that they are relevant to the topic. So the next bit or the next part that we have is the body. So the body should be marked with the points and issues. You can explain a process, describe a condition, argue your case, or tell your story in a logical sequence. That is, as you develop the body. Then also ensure that you address your points relevant to the occasion with the audience in mind. You must have the audience in mind, because after all, it is the members of the audience that you are addressing. So the last part is conclusion. So under conclusion, this is where you thank the audience for listening to you. You thank members of the audience for listening to you. And again, your conclusion should sum up the whole speech, and it should be brief. You can conclude by including a restatement of your ideas, or maybe a call to action or a final emphasis on a key statement. For example, and still I'll use the topic that I used earlier on, that is HIV and AIDS. So if you were discussing ways of avoiding HIV and AIDS in Kenya, you can conclude by saying that, ladies and gentlemen, one sure way of curbing the disease is by self-discipline, abstinence, and being focused to our goals. So on to the next thing, that is a sample of speech. And before we look at the sample, remember that when writing a speech, dear students, a speech is written in a continuous prose and in first person. Continuous prose meaning that it is written in a paragraph form. So you must also divide or separate your issues. So I'm going to quickly read this sample speech to check or corroborate if the elements mentioned or the parts mentioned are all here. So the title is KCSE Target. The principal, deputy principal, teachers, and my fellow students, good morning. I am grateful for being offered this rare chance to address this large crowd. Thank you for this great opportunity. Today, I want to particularly address Form 4s who are only 3 months away from reaping the hard work. Dear candidates, where are you going to be in 3 months? What will you be doing from the time you wake up today, fall each day? What will you achieve when KCSE results are announced? In other words, what is your target? Some of you might be thinking that 3 months is a lot of time to first waste and only revise with 1 week left. They might be thinking it is too early to revise. Let me assure you that it is high time you decide on doubling your effort. In fact, with my 1 year experience here, since I left this school, I can suggest you two alternatives. Either you think about your future after Form 4 now, or you leave these a frustrated individual, a regret later in life. Not encouraging at all to depend completely on your parents. I like the proverb, you reap what you sow. Remember, no one reaps beans when he plants potato. Only if you work hard, that work of your hands will handsomely be rewarded. According to my deepest conviction, happy person is the person who always brings his own sunshine wherever he goes and whatever the weather. Hope to see these sparks in you in your next year March when the results will be announced. Thanking you for listening to me. Dear students, once again, my name is Mr. Stanley Obogo. Thank you for keeping it easy and watching till the end. Until next time, bye.